Hello dear students, how are you all? I will hope you all are fine. I am Bhupender Verma, your science teacher. So dear students, today we are going to start chapter first of physics in class 9, that is motion. In this chapter, we will discuss about motion and its related terms, and this part comes under the branch mechanics of physics. So let's start this chapter. Motion. What is a motion? We all know that we are seeing our surrounding the lots of the moving bodies. So they do the motion. So in physics, how to specify the object do the motion? हम फिजिक्स में कैसे स्पेसिफाई करेंगे कि कोई ऑब्जेक्ट मोशन कर रहा है? So let us first of all understand the definition, then try to understand the concept. If an object changes its position with respect to its surrounding and with time, when object change its position with respect to its surrounding and with the time is called as motion. We say that when object change its position with respect to its surrounding, that means a boy is here and change its position with respect to this building. In first time initially it's his here, then after some time he comes here, then he can change its position with respect to this surrounding or building. Then we say that it can do the motion, change the position with respect to surrounding and with the time, because time never be stopped. Okay students. Next is a rest. If an object does not change its position with respect to surrounding and with the time, then it is called as rest or stationary. Rest or stationary. When object does not change its position with respect to time is known as rest or stationary. Like trees, buildings, etc. do not change their position, they are rest or stationary. For example, let us try to understand with the help of example motion. A car moves on a straight road and change its position from initial point A to final point B after some time. Hence we say that car do the motion, because car change their position from A to point B. So that's why we say that car do the motion. So let us discuss one more definition, that is called as relative motion. It is defined as the change of the position of an object or body with respect to stationary object or object at a rest, with respect to a stationary object or object at a rest. When a body change their position with respect to a reference object. Try to understand with the help of example. Suppose there is a tree, a car change its position with respect to this tree. So trees are stationary and car change its position with respect to tree. Then we say that car do the motion with respect to tree. That means car is in motion relative to tree, because tree is at rest and car is in a motion as compared to tree, or say relative to tree. It is also defined as relative motion is also defined as the motion of the one body with respect to another body regarded as fixed. नेक्स्ट इज व्हेन वी से दैट द बॉडी और ऑब्जेक्ट एट द रेस्ट और स्टेशनरी. कब हम कहेंगे कि कोई बॉडी और ऑब्जेक्ट रेस्ट होगा या स्टेशनरी होगा? व्हेन अ बॉडी और ऑब्जेक्ट डज नॉट चेंज इट्स पोजीशन विद रिस्पेक्ट टू टाइम इज इट एट रेस्ट. व्हेन अ बॉडी और ऑब्जेक्ट डज नॉट चेंज इट्स पोजीशन विद रिस्पेक्ट टू टाइम देन इट इज़ एट रेस्ट. जब कोई ऑब्जेक्ट अपनी पोजीशन चेंज नहीं करता है तो वो किस में कंसीडर होता है? रेस्ट में कंसीडर होता है. नाउ लेट अस डिस्कस टाइप्स ऑफ मोशन. मोशन इज बेसिकली 4 टाइप्स: translational motion, rotational motion, periodic motion, and non-periodic motion. Periodic motion further divided into revolutionary and oscillatory motion. Translational motion further divided into rectilinear or curvilinear motion. Now further more classification of motion are motion according to direction, one dimensional, two dimensional, three dimensional, and motion according to state is in our syllabus. All above motion types are not in our syllabus. Let us discuss one by one. First is translational motion. It is a type of motion in which all parts of an object moves the same distance in a given time is called translational motion. For example, like bird flying in a sky. Another example, motion of the car on a road. When car moves on a road, then all parts of the car move the same distance in a given time. That means all parts of this body change the position with respect to their backward portion, with respect to their forward portion is the same distance. So that's why we say that the all parts are moved in the same distance in the same time. Same distance in a same time. This type of motion is considered as translational motion. Like any body moves on a road in a straight path, then it can it's all particles of the body move the same distance in same time. So it is a type of translational motion. Next is a first kind of translation motion, rectilinear motion, linear motion and straight line motion. It's a clear from its name when an object moves in a straight line. When an object moves in a straight line, then all parts of the its body are covers the equal distance in equal interval of time. Then we say that the body do the rectilinear motion or straight line motion. For example, ants are moving on a straight line on a wall, and the car moves on a straight road on path. Then car do the your rectilinear straight line motion. Next is a type of translational motion, that is a curvilinear motion. When an object moves under the influence of translational motion along the curved path, then it is called curvilinear motion. That means a car is do the translation motion but in a curved path. Then its all particle move in a curved path but travel the equal distance in equal interval of time. Then we say do the curvilinear motion. For example, crawling motion of snake, a stone thrown into the air at some angle is example, and a car overtaking turn, a car taking turn and overtakes vehicle on road, taking of turn of the car and overtaking of the car on a road. I hope students you have to understand up to here. Next is the second type of the motion is rotational motion. When an object moves about an axis at the different parts of its body or moves at the different distance in a different given interval of time, that means in same time the different parts of the body move the different distance. For example, here in a merry-go-round, say this is a merry-go-round and it can move along this axis. It can move along this axis, and the point A, point B and point C are revolve in this direction, in anti-clockwise direction. Then we consider that here the point A travel the less distance as compared to point C and point B. Why? Because the circumference is the path is known as according to the circular path. The distance under a circular path is its circumference. So circumference of the B is greater than circumference of C than A. So in same time the point B travel the more distance as compared to C and point A. So that's why we say that it is a type of rotational motion. And similarly the rotating blades of windmill and rotating fans of a blades of a fan. Next is a periodic motion. The motion that repeats itself after a regular or fixed interval of time is called as periodic motion. For example, rotational motion of the earth on its axis repeats itself after the 24 hours. Earth repeat its motion along its axis about 24 hours, then it do the periodic motion. Hands of the clock repeat its motion after a fixed interval of time. Second hand clock repeat its motion after a 60 second. Minute hand clock repeat its motion after a 60 minute or 1 hour. Hour hand clock repeat its motion after 12 hours. So it can do the rotational or periodic motion. So next is the periodic motion is a further two type, revolutionary and oscillatory. Revolutionary motion. When a body or object moves around a fixed point, when a body or object moves around a fixed point in elliptical or circular path, in elliptical or circular path is known as revolutionary motion. Like revolution of the planets around the sun, and Earth's revolutionary period is approximate 365 days. Next is a oscillatory motion or simple harmonic motion, or also say vibratory motion. It is defined as to and fro motion of the object or body about its fixed position. Oscillatory motion is a type of periodic motion. Oscillatory motion is a type of periodic motion. Examples: vibrating strings, swinging of the pendulum, swing to and fro motion of the simple pendulum are the example of oscillatory and periodic motion. What is happening actually periodic motion? In periodic motion, a body changes its position from mean to extreme and come back on mean, then again extreme, and repeat this motion in a fixed interval of time. Then it is a type of simple harmonic motion, the to and fro motion. To and fro motion, and it is also known as vibrating motion. Back forth motion is also known as the motion of the swing is also a simple harmonic motion. And the time period of the simple pendulum or the swing is depend on the length of string, and it is independent of the mass of bob. Next is non-periodic motion. The motion, other motion that are remaining are known as non-periodic motion, in which the body do not repeat itself after a fixed interval of time. For example, a car moves on a straight road, does not repeat its motion after the fixed interval of time. A girl running on a straight road does not repeat its motion after a fixed interval of time. Next is motion according to direction. It's very clear. When a body moves along a single direction or in a straight line in any direction, then it can do one dimensional motion. Like a person walk on a road in a straight path, it can do one dimensional motion. A car is moving on a straight road is a one dimensional motion. Second is two dimensional motion. When a body or object moves in two dimension or in a plane, then the motion is called as a two dimensional motion. When a body or object moves along the two dimension or in a plane, then it's called two dimensional motion. Here is the x and y axis. A basketball is bounce upward and moves forward also, so it can do two dimensional motion. A children jump in a sack race and moves forward to run, jump in a sack race and run towards its target point, then he can also do two dimensional motion. Next is a motion of basketball, curvilinear motion and projectile motion. This motion, when we throw a ball, then it is known as projectile motion because we project a object. Next is 3D motion, three-dimensional motion. When a body or object moves along three dimension or in a space, then its motion is called as three-dimensional motion. जब कोई object three dimensional space में हो, suppose a fly is flying in a room, a mosquito is flying in a room, then it can do three-dimensional motions in x direction, then y direction, then z direction. So it can do three-dimensional motion. And gaseous particles that are enclosed in a cylinder are also do three-dimensional motion. Now, our part of the syllabus again start uniform motion. The motion of an object which uniform motion when a body travels the equal distance in equal interval of time. When a body travels the equal distance in equal interval of time, suppose we take an interval of the distance is 1 kilometer. We take a distance of interval is 1 kilometer. Suppose a bike rider rides bike first kilometer with a speed of within 10 seconds, first meter in 10 seconds, second meter in again 10 seconds, again 10 seconds in similar way, then he can do the uniform motion and its speed is uniform. And its speed is uniform and direction is also needed to be straight line. Let a bike rider his bike from the stationary point and he can travel each meter distance in every 10 seconds, then he will do the uniform motion. Graph of the uniform motion is straight line. What kind of graph you observe? Straight line graph. And slope of the graph of uniform motion gives the uniform speed. What result we obtain from the uniform motion graph? Uniform motion graph gives us uniform speed or constant speed. Graph of uniform motion is a distance time type graph. So observe here the graph. First 0, when the object is 0, then its distance is 0 and time is also 0. When object travels a 1 meter distance, then time needed to be 10 seconds. Again 1 meter, 10 seconds. Again 1 meter, 10 seconds and so on. Then we obtain the straight line graph. Obtain the straight line graph. In that case, the slope is constant because this angle made by with the x-axis is always constant. So slope is constant. Next is non-uniform motion. When an object travels the equal interval of distance in unequal interval of time. When an object travels the equal interval of distance in unequal interval of time, then a body do the non-uniform motion. And its speed is variable or different speeds. And it's obtained the curved graph. It gives the curved graph. A bus moving on a road with the variable speed. एक बस है रोड पे चल रही है different स्पीड से चल रही है कभी 20 कभी 40 कभी 50 की स्पीड से चल रही है so it can do the non uniform motion because it can travel the equal distance interval in unequal interval of time and its graph is obtained is curved graph. The graph of non uniform motion is curved and slope of the graph of non uniform motion gives the non uniform speed or variable speed and graph of non uniform motion is also distance time graph. Next concept is scalar and vector quantities. Scalar quantities, those physical quantities which require only magnitude but no direction for their representation is called as scalar quantities. वो physical quantities जिन्हें explain करने के लिए सिर्फ magnitude यानी amount की जरूरत होती है. And scalar can be multiplied, added or subtracted by the simple algebraic laws. That means simple addition, subtraction, multiplication law. Distance, speed, work, mass, density and time are some physical quantities that are scalar because we does not specify the distance with the direction. जब भी हमें डिस्टेंस बताना होता है किसी सिटीज़ का, सपोज वी स्पेसिफाई द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन भादरा एंड हिसार, सो वी डायरेक्टली से दैट इट इज़ 68 किलोमीटर. Directly say that it is 68 kilometer, not we say that it is a 60 kilometer in east west etc. And a bus is moving with the speed of 40 kilometer per hour, then we say the bus is moving with the speed of 40 kilometer per hour, not we say bus is moving with the 40 kilometer per hour in east west or straight path etc. We not need to specify this quantity. So speed is also scalar quantity. Mass, we know that a mass of the body is in a kg and mass is direct quantity. Suppose a body of the mass 20 kg, so it's no need to direction for explanation. Density of object is also no need direction. And time, we tell the time, it's time taking for the do the motion of an object from one position to another position taking 2 hours, then we no need to specify the direction for this quantity. Next is vector quantities. Those physical quantities which require direction as well as magnitude for their complete representation are called vector quantities. Vector can be added subtracted by the vector laws, and you will study about the vector laws in higher classes. So example of the vector quantities: displacement s vector, force f vector, velocity v vector, acceleration a vector, momentum p vector, weight w vector, torque tau vector. So these are some physical quantity have a need to direction for explanation. Force, we need the direction to specify the force. Suppose an object is kept on a surface, so I say that 10 Newton force is applied to this object. So one question comes in your mind, in which direction the force will be applied. So if I am specify the direction, then you clearly understand in which direction forces need to be applied. So that's why force need the direction for representation and explanation. I hope students you have to clear very well what are the vector quantities. And velocity. Velocity is also known as directional speed. Velocity is also known as directional speed. If we specify the direction of the moving object and with the speed, then it becomes velocity. And weight force is also direction, because a body of the weight lies towards the center of earth, and towards the center of earth is the direction of the weight force. Next is representation of vector. Vector is represented by the arrow over the letter of the physical quantity. The physical quantity that is mentioned, we represent the vector with the apply the arrow over it, and direction of arrow is same always if the direction of the object is anyway. Head shows the direction of vector and tail shows the magnitude of vector. And some more points note to be here. The angle between two parallel lines is 0 degree. Angle between two anti-parallel line is 180 degree. And why the parallel lines angles or the same directions have the positive? Because it gives the cos 0 and it gives the positive value. And cos 180 degree angle is -1. So opposite direction have the negative values. According to the coordinates geometry, we know that the distance which are on right hand side are taken as positive, downside are taken as negative, left side are taken as negative, and upside are taken as positive. I hope students you have to understand up to here. Our next concept is distance and displacement, and it's an important most concept. What is distance? It is defined as actual path traveled by a body during its motion. Actual path traveled by a body during its motion. It is a scalar quantity. It can never be zero. Its magnitude is always positive. It always greater than and equal to displacement, and as a unit of meter is distance. And what is displacement? It is defined as the shortest path from initial to final position. It is a vector quantity. SI unit is meter. Let us now understand what is the distance and displacement. Suppose a person starts its journey from point A in a straight path and reaches point B and travel the 100-meter distance, 100-meter path. The difference between A and B is 100 meter. Then a person moves from A to B and reach on point B, and finally, then we say that a body travel the 100-meter distance. That is actual path traveled by the body. 100-meter distance, that is actual path traveled by body. And what is the displacement? The direct distance between our shortest path between initial and final position. Initially starts his journey from here and finally he reach at point B. So the distance and displacement is equal in that case. Now take another case. Let us take another case. Suppose object is start from point A and reach at point B, then come back and reach half mid at point C. total is 100 and come back on 50, then what is the distance? Total path, actual path traveled by is 100 plus 50. Actual path traveled by the body is 150. This is distance. And what is displacement? This is final point now, this is initial. So the direct distance between initial and final position, now here displacement is 50. Here displacement is 50. Let us discuss one more case. Object starts its journey from A and reaches at B, then come back on A again. Come back on A and 100 is the distance. So what is the actual path? 100 plus 100. Total distance is 200. Total distance is 200. And what is displacement? Because now initial and final points become same because he come back on same position. Then displacement is 0. Displacement is 0. Then displacement is 0 and it's become a round trip. It becomes a round trip. So I hope student you understand distance never be 0 but displacement can be 0. And displacement is also negative. How it is negative? When a object starts his journey from A to B, then he covers the A point. वो A को क्रॉस करते हुए चला गया and reaches the point C. This is 100 and this is also 100 up to here, but this is 100 or more. 100 और travel कर लिया. So displacement is negative in that case. Total path traveled by is a 300 meter, but displacement is difference between initial and final. This is initial, this is final, and we say that the negative direction is show that the negative displacement here. I hope students you understand. It can be positive, 0 or negative. It's clear. Displacement is always less than and equal to distance. It's shown by the example. Question. Show that distance is greater than and equal to displacement, or displacement is less than or equal to distance. For this question, we take a two paths, path 1 and path 2, from A to B. There are the two paths 1 and 2 between the point A and B. Here path is a curved and actual path. The actual path traveled by in first case is more, and this is the displacement. So path 2 work as a displacement and path 1 work as a actual path or distance. So in that case, distance is greater than displacement. Distance is greater than displacement. In second case, we consider the second path only. When object A to B in one direction, then distance and displacement are equal. Then distance, displacement equal. Then combine equation 1 and 2. Then we observe that distance is always greater than and equal to displacement. Distance is always greater than and equal to displacement. Next is show that the ratio of the displacement versus distance is less than and vice versa. We know that distance displacement is less than distance. Now when the distance terms occurs on left hand side, comes on left hand side in denominator term, then we from 1. Displacement, now suppose this quantity comes on this side. Suppose distance term comes on this side in a denominator term, then what remains here? 1 is remains here. So less than equal to 1. Its opposite is distance upon displacement. Distance upon displacement, then 1 is more remainder here, remaining here, then it becomes distance upon displacement is greater than 1. Now write down the one condition when the distance is non-zero but displacement of body is 0. For any round trip, the distance is non-zero but displacement will be 0. Because after a round trip, the initial and final point become the same. For example, Farhan starts his journey from point A and after traveling some distance come back at a point A. Come back at point A, so its displacement becomes 0 but the actual path is not 0. Write down the one condition when the distance is equal to displacement in a straight path. When a body moves or goes in a straight path that is in one direction, then distance is equal to displacement. Sonu Beniwal runs on a straight corridor. Write down a one condition with the displacement negative. Displacement is negative when we move in a backward direction with reference to the initial position is known as displacement is negative. Here is initial, then negative direction with the initial position. I hope students you understand up to here. Our first part of the chapter is now completed, and the next remaining parts we will discuss in next section. Thank you and have a nice day.